My precious and chosen soul, I speak to you now with words that resonate through the very essence of your being. This message carries the weight of eternity, woven into the foundation of your existence. A divine invitation you must not turn away from. Listen closely, for to ignore this calling would be to reject the abundance of grace I am preparing to shower upon your life. This is not a passing thought or fleeting inspiration. These words rank among the most crucial truths I will ever share with your heart. Open every part of your being to receive them, my beloved child. The divine forging process. I have been walking alongside you through an intense period of spiritual refinement, a comprehensive examination not intended to break your spirit, but to shape you into the magnificent person you were destined to become. I have observed every uncertain moment, witnessed every tear that traced your cheek, felt every wave of uncertainty that crashed against your soul. I remained present when the weight of your circumstances pressed down upon you, when giving up appeared to be your only option. Yet here stands an unshakable reality. I have counted every single tear, captured each quiet moment of anguish, and have never once abandoned your side. This period of difficulty was orchestrated by my loving hand not to destroy you, but to reveal the fierce warrior dwelling within your spirit, to ignite the spark of unwavering faith in your heart, to awaken you to the mountain-moving power I have embedded deep within your core. I needed you to recognize this strength, to embrace it fully, to step confidently into its reality. The fires you have traversed were never meant to reduce you to ashes, but to purify and strengthen you. Like a master craftsman working with precious metal, I have burned away the anxieties, the hesitations, and the barriers that concealed your authentic brilliance. Your unique calling. Why have I chosen you specifically, my child? Because you are extraordinary, marked by my divine touch, set apart for a purpose that extends far beyond the boundaries of your current imagination. You were not created to disappear into the background of ordinary existence, but to transform it with threads of radical change and divine intervention. This explains why your journey has been more challenging, your conflicts more intense, your hardships more acute than those experienced by others around you. Yet understand this profound truth. I have never lost sight of you for even a moment. I have carried you through every tempest, protected you from dangers you never saw coming, and carefully orchestrated every experience to prepare you for the glory that lies ahead. The turning point. Now come closer, for this represents the crucial center of my message, a pivotal moment you absolutely cannot afford to miss. The season of testing is drawing to a close, and the dawn of divine reward is beginning to break across the horizon of your life. Those sleepless nights when you held onto hope with trembling fingers, when you offered prayers through clenched teeth and tear-stained cheeks. Every one of these moments has been recorded in the eternal archives of heaven. My celestial messengers have carried your desperate pleas directly to my throne, and not a single cry has gone unnoticed or unanswered. The blessings I am about to release into your life are not simple gifts or token gestures. They are divine treasures, specifically designed and perfectly tailored for your unique circumstances, destined to elevate you to heights you have never before imagined possible. However, these blessings require your complete readiness and preparation. If you remain unprepared, distracted by lesser concerns, or paralyzed by doubt, they may slip away from you like precious water flowing through open hands. Divine timing and trust. This encounter with my message is not a random coincidence. It represents my perfect timing in action. I am opening doors before you that no earthly force can close, placing opportunities in your path that will completely rewrite the narrative of your existence. Yet here is what I require from you above all else. Trust me with absolute completeness. Do not lean on your own limited understanding, for it fails precisely where my infinite wisdom soars to its greatest heights. Trust my perfect design, even when it confuses you, even when it stretches you far beyond your comfort zone and familiar patterns. I am orchestrating all circumstances for your ultimate flourishing, even in the shadowy places where clarity has not yet emerged. Spiritual warfare and focus. Be aware, my child, that distractions will surge toward you like an overwhelming tide. Competing voices will whisper doubt and confusion. Circumstances will seem to conspire together, planting seeds of fear and uncertainty deep within your heart. You must silence these influences completely. Keep your gaze fixed firmly on me alone. The spiritual adversary recognizes the divine brilliance that is beginning to stir and awaken within you, and he will deploy every deceptive strategy at his disposal to derail your spiritual ascent. But remember this: his power crumbles into nothing unless you voluntarily surrender to it. You possess within yourself the strength to stand firm against his attacks. You carry the resilience necessary to continue pressing forward despite all opposition. Remember those critical moments when complete collapse seemed inevitable. Yet you survived and overcame because I was there with you, lifting you when your legs could no longer support you, breathing fresh courage into your failing spirit, urging you onward when every circumstance screamed that all was lost. I am the same God who declares over you right now, your greatest days are beginning to unfold before you. Preparation for blessing. You have successfully weathered the storm of testing, proven your spiritual mettle, and demonstrated a faithfulness that deeply moves my heart. Now I stand ready to crown your efforts with magnificent reward. But first, you must prepare your inner being completely. Release the lingering echoes of past wounds that continue to reverberate in your memory. Let go of the grudges that chain you to yesterday's pain and disappointment. Choose forgiveness not because others necessarily deserve it, but because of the tremendous freedom it releases within your own spirit. Allow no root of bitterness to establish itself in the soil of your heart, for it will strangle the abundance I am preparing to send your way. Maintain a humble and teachable spirit, my child. The flood of blessings I am about to pour out will overwhelm your current capacity to imagine their scope and magnitude. Yet these gifts are not yours to hoard or clutch possessively. They are intended to flow like a mighty river through your life, touching countless other lives with my love, my mercy, and my abundant provision. Receive these blessings with open, grateful hands, give generously from a heart overflowing with joy, and watch in amazement as I multiply everything you choose to share with others. Your hour of destiny. This is your appointed hour, the season of complete renewal, of joy that overflows all boundaries, of restoration that corrects every injustice and heals every wound. But along with such magnificent gifts comes a sacred mantle of divine purpose and responsibility. Are you prepared to embrace the calling I have carefully shaped for your life? Are you ready to stride boldly and confidently into the role I have been preparing you to fill? If your answer is yes, then proclaim it clearly. Lift your voice in declaration and say with every fiber of your being, I am ready, Lord. I am orchestrating a divine convergence of people, resources, and opportunities. Relationships that will provide stability and support, resources that will equip you for the work ahead, and opportunities that will propel you forward, all falling into perfect place with effortless grace and supernatural timing. Yet remain discerning and wise in your choices. Not every opportunity that glitters is my golden provision, and not every open door bears my divine design. Seek my guidance in every decision you face, and I will illuminate your path with crystal clarity. The greater purpose behind your trials. Understand this truth deeply, my beloved. Every hardship you have faced, every night spent in tears, Every test of your spirit has been a careful brushstroke in a much grander portrait that I am painting. I take no pleasure whatsoever in your pain and suffering, but I can see the magnificent triumph that lies beyond it, a reward so vast and beautiful that it completely eclipses the temporary struggle. These trials you have endured are not random chaos or meaningless suffering. They represent my careful craftsmanship, perfectly designed to stretch your faith to new dimensions, to strengthen your character in ways that could not happen otherwise, and to draw you into an intimate embrace with me that you have never experienced before. They are not punishments for wrongdoing, but rather gateways leading directly to your ultimate victory and spiritual triumph. Divine strength in human weakness. Never forget this foundational promise. I will never burden you with more than you have the strength to bear. When the weight of your circumstances feels absolutely unbearable, know with certainty that I have already armed you with everything you need to endure and overcome. My power shines with its greatest brilliance precisely in your moments of weakness and vulnerability. When you stagger under the load, I am there to uphold and support you. When exhaustion threatens to overwhelm you completely, I carry you in my arms. Faithfulness is your master key to victory, not perfectionism, not having all the answers, but maintaining steady trust in me amid uncertainty, keeping a firm grip on my promises when the world screams at you to let go and give up. This kind of faithfulness is challenging to maintain, but its fruit is eternal and magnificent. Biblical examples of faithfulness rewarded. Look to my written word, my child, and see the examples I have provided for your encouragement. Consider Job, battered by devastating loss, yet remaining unshakable in his trust. His faithfulness ultimately birthed a double portion of restoration and blessing. Observe Joseph, cast down by betrayal and imprisoned unjustly, yet rising to a position where he could save entire nations because he trusted in my presence even in the darkest circumstances. I am that same unchanging God, absolutely steadfast and reliable in my relationship with you right now. When trials loom large and threatening before you, do not become fixated on their intimidating shadow. Instead, lift your eyes to me. I am your impregnable fortress, your faithful guide, your unfailing source of strength. Like Peter walking on the turbulent waves, you will accomplish the impossible as long as your gaze remains fixed on mine. But if you turn your attention to the storm raging around you, you will begin to falter and sink. Keep me in clear view, and you will stride through every tempest with unshakable peace filling your heart. Your clarion call. My chosen one, this is your clarion call to action and faith. The season of testing is fading away, the harvest of blessing is drawing near, and I am with you always, yesterday, today, and forever. Prepare your heart completely. Trust my guiding hand implicitly. Step boldly into the destiny I have been dreaming and planning for you since before time began. The best chapters of your life are not behind you in the past. They beckon ahead of you, radiant with promise and absolutely certain to unfold. The temporary nature of trials. My treasured child, I long for you to grasp a truth that will anchor your soul securely amid whatever tempests you may encounter. The trials that test your faith and character are nothing more than fleeting shadows passing across the landscape of your life. No matter how fiercely the winds of adversity may howl around you, or how deeply the wounds of circumstance may cut into your heart, they are not eternal in their nature. Like the predictable turning of ocean tides or the gentle fading of dusk into the brightness of dawn, these present hardships will pass away completely. Seasons shift and change with reliable regularity, and the struggles that weigh so heavily upon you today will one day dissolve entirely into the brilliant radiance of tomorrow's grace and mercy. Cling tightly to this hope, for I have made a solemn vow to you that after this brief season of affliction has run its course, I will lift you up to new heights, mend everything that has been broken in your life, fortify your spirit with supernatural strength, and set your feet firmly on solid ground that cannot be shaken. Let this promise be the glowing ember that warms your courage from within, urging you onward with determination when the path grows steep and challenging. The forging of character. Have you considered carefully what beautiful things blossom and grow when you choose to stand steadfast through life's most difficult crucibles? Each test you endure successfully serves as a divine forge, tempering your soul into something absolutely unshakable, stronger in resolve than you ever thought possible, richer in wisdom gained through experience, deeper in resilience that can weather any storm. Your faith takes root in increasingly firmer soil with each trial overcome. Your character ripens and matures into something rare and radiant, bearing fruit that brings joy to my heart. And your trust in me expands and swells like a river after abundant rainfall, carrying you forward with unstoppable momentum. Every trial you successfully navigate draws you measurably nearer to the magnificent purpose I have carefully carved out for you, a destiny luminous with divine promise and potential. It is precisely in the crucible of testing that you discover the previously hidden depths of your own spirit and catch glimpses of the boundless expanse of who I am to you. Your unshakable rock, your faithful Redeemer, your ever-present guide through every circumstance. Divine recognition of your faithfulness. I see you clearly, my child. Every faltering step you take in uncertainty, every whispered prayer offered in faith, every choice you make to rise up instead of falling down in defeat. I take notice when you turn to me in the darkness rather than surrendering to despair's seductive pull. I mark carefully the moments when you extend mercy and grace where bitterness begs to take hold and establish roots. I rejoice with tremendous joy when you anchor your heart firmly in me, even as the why behind my ways continues to elude your understanding. Your fidelity and faithfulness create a beautiful melody that echoes throughout my heavenly courts, rising like a sweet fragrance that brings me great delight. Know this with absolute certainty. Not one act of trust you demonstrate, not one tear shed in faith goes unnoticed by my watchful eyes. You are infinitely precious to me, and your perseverance through difficulty lights my heart with tremendous pride and satisfaction. Companionship through the storm. There will inevitably come hours when the load you carry feels absolutely crushing, when the storm's deafening roar drowns out hope completely and the burden bows your shoulders low under its immense weight. In those raw, ragged moments of overwhelming difficulty, remember this fundamental truth. You do not bear this burden in lonely solitude. I am your constant companion through every gale and tempest. My footsteps match perfectly with yours along the difficult path. My arms remain ready to cradle you tenderly when your strength begins to wane and fail. My grace flows like an endless river, always sufficient to carry you through whatever challenges arise, and my might shines with its greatest brilliance when your own strength flickers dim and threatens to go out entirely. When taking the next step feels completely impossible, press into me with all your being. I will breathe fresh resilience into your weary bones and steady your trembling hands with my supernatural strength and comfort. The purpose behind refining fire. Do not shrink back in fear from these trials, my beloved child. They are not sharp arrows aimed maliciously to wound and destroy you, but rather carefully crafted tools shaped specifically to prepare you for the magnificent abundance I hold securely in store for your future. Picture pure gold being thrust into the intense heat of a refiner's furnace. The heat is fierce and overwhelming, yet it does not destroy the precious metal. Instead, it refines and purifies it to brilliant perfection. So it is with your life and circumstances. The flames of testing may sear and burn intensely, but they will not consume or destroy you. They burn away the dross, the fears, the doubts, and the frailties, leaving behind a spirit gleaming with purity and radiating with divine power. You will emerge from this refining process not diminished or damaged, but absolutely dazzling, a living testament to my masterful craftsmanship and the transforming power of my love. You are never alone. You are never truly alone in this refining fire of testing and trial. My spirit pulses vibrantly within you, serving as an inexhaustible wellspring of strength to conquer every mountain peak and traverse every valley. You are fully capable of overcoming, not because of your own natural might and ability, but because I dwell intimately within you, continuously igniting your courage and steadying your resolve when it wavers. Beyond your ability to see, my unseen warriors encircle you completely. Angels dispatched directly from my throne surround you, wielding swords of brilliant light to guard your path carefully, whispering supernatural comfort to your weary soul, and providing guidance when the way ahead grows dim and unclear. You are completely hemmed in by my tender care, fortified and protected by forces you cannot see with physical eyes, but can always trust completely. Standing against the enemy's lies. My child, do not allow your heart to falter or fail when challenges arise. The enemy of your soul will hiss his poisonous venom, snarling accusations that you are too weak, too flawed, too small and insignificant to prevail against your circumstances. These are nothing but hollow lies, as brittle and powerless as dry leaves against the unshakable truth of who you really are in me, my chosen one, my delight, my very own beloved child. I have called you by name with personal intimacy, etched your identity permanently into my hands, and bound you to my heart with cords of love so strong that no force in heaven or earth can sever them. His taunts and accusations hold absolutely no sway or power over you, for you belong completely to me, and my plans for your life stand unshaken and immovable, regardless of circumstances. Your unshakable foundation. When the terrain of life turns rugged and treacherous, anchor yourself securely here in this truth. I am your fortress and place of safety, your unshakable tower of strength, your ever-present help when the night presses in with overwhelming darkness. Cry out to me in your distress, and I will answer with a voice that stills all chaos and confusion. Seek me with your whole heart, and I will reveal myself to you in the quiet moments of your seeking. Trust me completely when all human maps and strategies fail, for I am your God, steadfast and true in every promise, and every word I have spoken over your life will bloom and flourish in its perfect time. The divine tapestry. I understand completely that the sting of these tests cuts deep into your heart. I see clearly the questions that swirl relentlessly in your mind. Why this particular pain? Why this specific path? Why right now when you feel least prepared? But I ask you to find rest in this profound truth. I hold the entire horizon in my sight and understanding. What you perceive as jagged, broken fragments, I am carefully weaving into a masterpiece tapestry of mercy and grace. The sorrows that soak your pillow today will one day become the powerful story you tell of my absolute faithfulness. The battles you fight with such intensity now will become the victory banners you raise in triumphant celebration. I am threading together every single thread, every hurt, every hope, every moment of confusion and clarity into a beautiful tapestry of good that serves your ultimate benefit. even when its intricate pattern remains hidden from your current view and understanding. Your divine equipment. You are fully equipped for this journey, my child, not by your own natural grit and determination, but by my generous gift and provision. My word serves as your reliable lantern, casting clear light across the deepest shadows, functioning as a bright beacon to guide your wandering feet along the right path. My spirit operates as your internal compass, your wise counselor, your fire burning brightly within your innermost being. My promises form your bedrock foundation, unyielding, eternal, alive and active with my yes and amen to every good thing. Above all these provisions, my love functions as your protective shield, your song of joy, your unfailing constant that will never waver. It will never falter under pressure, never fade with time, and never leave you wanting or lacking anything essential. Standing firm in victory. So plant your feet firm and unmovable, unshaken by whatever gales may howl around you with intimidating force. Let the storms come with all their fury. Rejoice in their presence, for they are forging within you an endurance that doesn't merely survive, but actually thrives under pressure and difficulty. You are so much more than you currently know or understand. You are braver than the fear that grips your heart with icy fingers. You are stronger than the doubts that claw at your confidence with sharp talons. You are loved beyond the farthest edges of your comprehension and imagination. I am with you always, closer than your very breath, nearer than your heartbeat, and I will never, ever turn away from you or abandon you to face any challenge alone. Together, we will crest every towering wave, shatter every confining chain, and scale every intimidating height that rises before us. This I swear to you with the full weight of my eternal character and faithfulness. The promise of overflowing goodness. Stay true to me and my ways, and my goodness will chase you down with relentless pursuit. Blessings will be spilling over the edges of your life in supernatural abundance. Divine purpose will unfurl before you like the break of dawn, revealing new possibilities with each passing moment. You will live a life so magnificent and radiant that it completely defies your current dreams and expectations. You will shine brilliantly as my light in a world desperate for hope, serving as living proof that with me actively involved in a life, no barrier can stand permanently, no night can endure forever, and no limitation can hold back what I have purposed to accomplish. The final call to rise. Rise up, my child. Rise in boldness that comes from knowing who you are in me. Rise in trust that remains unshakable regardless of circumstances. Rise in hope that belongs to you as my inheritance and gift. These tests and trials you are experiencing are not your undoing or destruction. They are the carefully orchestrated prelude to a beauty I am sculpting through your life and character. I am the author of your days, holding the pen that writes your story, and the tale I am penning with your life is absolutely breathtaking in its scope and wonder. Final warning and victory declaration. One final word of caution and encouragement, my beloved. The enemy seethes with rage at your spiritual ascent and progress. He will claw desperately at your peace, gnash his teeth at your joy, and strike at your faith with every weapon at his disposal. But fear him not, for his roar is completely empty of real power. I have already crushed him decisively beneath my heel. When he lunges at you with accusations and attacks, stand tall in your identity and boldly declare this truth. He is a vanquished foe, and you are a child of the Most High God. No weapon he forges in his desperation will pierce through my promise over your life. Every dart he hurls will fall broken and powerless at your feet. You are a victor through me, my child, more than a conqueror, a warrior clothed in my supernatural might and strength. Stepping into your inheritance. Step confidently into the bounty I have prepared specifically for you. Walk with your head held high and your heart ablaze with anticipation. You are ready for what lies ahead. You are armed with my truth, called by my voice, and equipped for victory. I proclaim it over you with all the authority of heaven. Triumph is yours. Every test will bow in submission. Every trial will yield to my power working through you. Every promise I have made will stand firm and be fulfilled completely. Hold fast to these truths, for my hand moves in wonders that will leave you absolutely breathless with amazement. The dawn is breaking across the horizon of your life, painted with colors of hope and possibility you have never seen before. And it is yours to claim with confidence and joy. Amen and amen. The sacred covenant of transformation. My precious child, let me speak to you about the sacred covenant I have established with your life, a divine contract written not with ink upon parchment, but with love inscribed upon the very fabric of your existence. This covenant transcends human understanding and reaches into the eternal realms, where my purposes for your life were conceived before the foundation of the world was laid. You were not an afterthought in my creative process, nor were you brought into being by random chance or cosmic accident. Every detail of your existence, from the color of your eyes to the unique fingerprint that marks you as one of a kind, was carefully and lovingly designed by my hand. Your personality, your gifts, your dreams, even your struggles and challenges all serve a purpose in the magnificent plan I have orchestrated for your life. This covenant between us is unbreakable and irrevocable. It is not dependent upon your performance, your perfection, or your ability to earn my love through good works. It is founded entirely upon my character, my faithfulness, and my unchanging love for you. When you stumble, the covenant remains firm. When you doubt, it stands unshaken. When you feel distant from me, it bridges every gap with grace. The architecture of divine purpose. Consider for a moment the intricate architecture of divine purpose that surrounds your life. Like a master architect designing a magnificent cathedral, I have carefully planned every detail of your spiritual journey. Each trial you face is like a precisely placed stone in the foundation, each victory a soaring buttress that supports the greater structure. Each moment of growth a beautiful window that allows my light to shine through you more brilliantly. The blueprint of your life extends far beyond what your natural eyes can perceive. While you see only the current construction phase, often messy, sometimes painful, occasionally confusing, I see the completed masterpiece in all its glory. I see the moment when the final piece will be set in place, when the scaffolding of temporary struggles will be removed, and when the full beauty of what I have been building through your life will be revealed for all to see. This divine architecture includes not only your personal transformation, but also the impact you will have on countless other lives. The strength you develop through current challenges will become a source of encouragement for others walking similar paths. The wisdom you gain through your trials will become guidance for those who follow behind you. The faith you exercise in the darkness will become a beacon of hope for those still searching for the light. The rhythm of divine seasons. Life moves in seasons, my child, each with its own purpose and beauty. Just as the natural world experiences the dormancy of winter, the awakening of spring, the abundance of summer, and the harvest of autumn, your spiritual journey follows a similar pattern of divine seasons that I orchestrate with perfect timing. The winter seasons of your life, those times of apparent barrenness, waiting, and testing, are not punishments or signs of my displeasure. They are necessary periods of rest and preparation, when invisible work is happening beneath the surface. Like seeds lying dormant in frozen ground, The dreams and promises I have planted within you are gathering strength during these quiet times, preparing for the explosive growth that will come when spring arrives. Spring seasons bring awakening and new beginnings. You will recognize these times by the fresh hope that begins to stir in your heart, the new opportunities that start to appear, and the sense that something wonderful is about to unfold. These are seasons of planting new seeds of faith, taking tentative steps in new directions, and watching for the first green shoots of promise to break through the soil of your circumstances. Summer seasons are times of growth, expansion, and increasing visibility of my work in your life. The seeds planted in spring begin to flourish, your gifts and talents find expression, and you experience the joy of seeing prayers answered and dreams beginning to take shape. These are seasons of hard work, steady progress, and growing confidence in my faithfulness. Autumn seasons bring harvest, the reaping of what has been sown, the gathering of the fruits of your faithfulness, and the joy of seeing how I have used even your struggles to produce something beautiful and beneficial. These are times of celebration, gratitude, and sharing your abundance with others who are still in their seasons of planting and growing. Understanding this rhythm helps you maintain perspective during difficult times. Winter does not last forever. Spring always follows. The apparent death of winter contains within it the promise of resurrection and new life. The laboratory of faith. Your life has become a laboratory of faith, my beloved, a sacred space where spiritual experiments are conducted, where the laws of my kingdom are tested and proven, where the impossible becomes possible through trust and obedience. In this laboratory, every circumstance becomes an opportunity to discover new dimensions of my power, new depths of my love, and new heights of your own spiritual capacity. The experiments conducted in this laboratory of faith are not random or haphazard. Each one is carefully designed to reveal specific truths about my character and to develop particular qualities within your spirit. Some experiments test your patience, teaching you to wait with grace and trust in my perfect timing. Others test your courage, challenging you to step out in faith even when you cannot see the complete picture. Some experiments in this divine laboratory focus on your ability to forgive, placing you in situations where mercy and grace must triumph over hurt and disappointment. Others examine your capacity for joy, surrounding you with reasons to praise, even in the midst of temporary difficulty. Still others investigate your commitment to truth, requiring you to choose integrity, even when compromise might seem easier. The results of these faith experiments are always recorded in the annals of heaven. Every act of trust, every choice to believe despite contrary evidence, every decision to hope when circumstances suggest despair, all are carefully documented as evidence of your growing spiritual maturity and my unwavering faithfulness. What makes this laboratory truly remarkable is that the same experiments that test your faith simultaneously demonstrate my power to others who are watching your life. Your willingness to trust me in difficult circumstances becomes a powerful testimony that draws others to seek the same relationship with me that sustains you through your trials. The Symphony of Redemption. Your life is part of a magnificent symphony of redemption that I am composing throughout human history. Each individual life represents a unique instrument in this cosmic orchestra, contributing its own distinctive voice to the overall harmony. Your particular instrument, your unique combination of personality, gifts, experiences, and calling, plays notes that no one else can produce. The music you create through your life experiences, both joyful and sorrowful, blends with countless other voices to create a symphony of such beauty and complexity that it brings tears of joy to my eyes. The high notes of your victories ring out with crystal clarity, while the deeper, richer tones of your struggles provide harmonic foundation that gives the entire composition depth and emotional resonance. Sometimes your part in this symphony requires you to play solo passages, times when you feel isolated and alone, carrying a melody that seems to echo unaccompanied in the vast concert hall of existence. These solo moments are not signs that you have been abandoned by the rest of the orchestra. Rather, they are special opportunities for your unique voice to be heard with particular clarity, for your testimony to stand out against the silence, for your faith to shine with undimmed brilliance. Other times, your instrument blends with many others in powerful crescendos of communal praise and celebration. These are seasons when you experience the joy of shared faith, mutual encouragement, and corporate worship that lifts the entire community closer to my heart. The symphony also includes moments of rest, brief pauses when your instrument falls silent, not because you have stopped participating, but because the music requires periods of silence to make the subsequent notes more meaningful and impactful. These rest periods teach you that your identity and value are not dependent upon constant activity or performance, but upon your position in the orchestra and your relationship with the divine conductor. The tapestry of eternal purpose. Every thread of your existence, every joy and sorrow, every success and failure, every moment of clarity and confusion, is being woven into a tapestry of eternal purpose that stretches far beyond the boundaries of your current understanding. This tapestry is not merely a beautiful decoration to be admired. It is a functional masterpiece designed to provide warmth, comfort, and hope to countless others who will encounter it throughout eternity. The dark threads in this tapestry, representing your struggles, losses, and seasons of difficulty, are not mistakes or flaws in the design. They are essential elements that provide contrast and depth, making the brighter threads of joy and victory stand out with greater brilliance. Without these darker elements, the tapestry would lack dimension and emotional impact. Some threads in your tapestry represent relationships. The people I have brought into your life to shape you, challenge you, comfort you, and walk alongside you on the journey. Each relationship, whether brief or lifelong, pleasant or difficult, contributes unique colors and textures to the overall design. Even relationships that have caused pain or disappointment serve important purposes in the larger pattern I am creating. Other threads represent experiences, the events, opportunities, and circumstances that have marked significant moments in your spiritual development. The thread of your first real encounter with my love might shine with golden radiance. The thread of your greatest trial might appear dark and coarse, yet it provides essential strength to the overall structure. Skills, talents, and abilities form still other threads in this eternal tapestry. The creative gifts I have given you, the natural abilities you possess, the learned skills you have developed, all become tools I use to create beauty and accomplish good through your life. Even abilities that seem unrelated to spiritual matters serve important purposes in my overall design. The most remarkable aspect of this tapestry is that it is never truly finished during your earthly life. Each day adds new threads, new colors, new patterns to the design. What seems incomplete or confusing today will make perfect sense when viewed from the perspective of eternity, when you can see how every thread contributes to the magnificent whole. The University of Spiritual Wisdom. Consider your life as enrollment in an exclusive university, the University of Spiritual Wisdom, where I serve as your personal professor, mentor, and guide. This institution offers a curriculum unlike any earthly educational system, with courses designed to develop not just intellectual knowledge, but spiritual understanding, emotional maturity, and practical wisdom for living. The admission requirements for this university have nothing to do with past academic performance, social status, or natural ability. The only prerequisite is a heart open to learning and growing in relationship with me. Once enrolled, every student receives a completely personalized education plan designed specifically for their unique needs, calling, and destiny. The coursework in this divine university includes both theoretical and practical elements. Theoretical courses might include the nature of faith, understanding divine love, the principles of forgiveness, and the mysteries of divine timing. These courses provide the foundational knowledge needed for effective spiritual living. Practical courses involve real-life laboratories where theoretical knowledge is tested and applied. Patience under pressure might involve actual situations requiring you to wait with grace. Trust in uncertainty could include circumstances where you must rely on my guidance without seeing the complete picture. Love for enemies might present opportunities to extend grace to those who have hurt or opposed you. The grading system in this university is unlike any earthly institution. There are no failures, only opportunities for additional learning. When you struggle with a particular lesson, I don't mark you as deficient and move on. Instead, I provide additional instruction, alternative approaches, and as much time as needed for you to master the material. Graduation from this university doesn't occur all at once, but happens progressively as you master different areas of spiritual life. You might graduate from beginning faith while still taking intermediate courses in advanced trust and graduate-level perseverance. Each graduation represents a new level of spiritual maturity and increased capacity to handle greater responsibilities in my kingdom. The most wonderful aspect of this educational process is that I am not a distant, impersonal professor. I am intimately involved in every aspect of your learning, celebrating your progress, providing encouragement during difficult lessons, and maintaining absolute confidence in your ability to succeed in the courses I have designed specifically for you. The Gymnasium of Spiritual Strength. Your current circumstances have transformed your life into a gymnasium of spiritual strength, where every challenge becomes equipment designed to build specific aspects of your spiritual fitness. Just as physical exercise requires resistance to build muscle, spiritual growth requires the resistance of difficulties to develop the strength needed for your divine calling. Different types of challenges work like different pieces of exercise equipment, each targeting specific areas of spiritual development. Financial pressures might serve as weight training for your trust muscles, requiring you to lift increasingly heavy loads of faith as you learn to depend on my provision rather than your own resources. Relationship conflicts function like cardiovascular equipment, challenging your heart to pump forgiveness and love even when it feels strained and tired. These exercises increase your capacity for grace and expand your ability to love even difficult people with genuine care and compassion. Delays and disappointments work like flexibility training, stretching your patience and adaptability beyond their natural limits. Through these exercises, you become more limber in your expectations, better able to adjust to my timing and methods, even when they differ from your original plans. Unexpected challenges serve as balance training, teaching you to maintain spiritual equilibrium even when the ground shifts beneath your feet. These exercises develop your ability to stay centered in my love and truth, regardless of external circumstances. Our focus today is on the relationship between the brain. The training program I have designed for you is perfectly calibrated to your current fitness level and future goals. I never overload you with more resistance than you can handle. But I also don't allow you to become spiritually soft through lack of appropriate challenge. Like a skilled personal trainer, I gradually increase the difficulty as your strength and endurance improve. Rest periods are built into this spiritual fitness program, allowing time for recovery and growth between intensive training sessions. These rest periods are not signs of spiritual laziness, but essential components of healthy development. Even I rested on the seventh day of creation, modeling the importance of balanced activity and restoration. The goal of this spiritual training is not just personal fitness, but preparation for the work I have called you to do. The strength you develop through current challenges will enable you to carry greater loads of responsibility in the future. The endurance you build through perseverance will allow you to maintain effectiveness over longer periods of service. The flexibility you gain through adapting to unexpected circumstances will help you navigate the complex situations you will encounter as you walk in your calling. The masterpiece of divine artistry. You are my masterpiece, my child, not a mass-produced item rolling off an assembly line, but a unique work of art carefully crafted by the hands of the divine master artist. Every detail of your being has been lovingly shaped with intentionality and purpose that extends far beyond mere functionality. Like any great masterpiece, your creation involved both initial inspiration and painstaking attention to detail. The inspiration came from my desire to express certain aspects of my character and love through a human life. The detailed work involves the ongoing process of shaping, refining, and polishing that continues throughout your earthly journey. The canvas of your life provides the foundation upon which I create this masterpiece. Some areas of the canvas are smooth and even, representing the stable, comfortable aspects of your existence. Other areas are textured and rough, representing the challenges and difficulties that provide depth and visual interest to the overall composition. The colors I use in creating this living artwork come from the full spectrum of human experience. Bright, vibrant hues represent times of joy, celebration, and obvious blessing. Deeper, more subdued tones reflect seasons of quiet growth, contemplation, and hidden development. Even the darker shades that represent pain, loss, and struggle serve important purposes in creating contrast and emotional impact. My technique as the master artist involves both broad brushstrokes that shape the overall composition and fine detail work that adds subtlety and nuance to specific areas. Sometimes I work with bold, confident strokes that create dramatic changes in your circumstances. Other times I use delicate, almost imperceptible touches that gradually modify existing patterns and textures. The lighting in this masterpiece comes from my presence in your life, illuminating different aspects of the composition at different times. Sometimes this divine light shines brightly, making every detail clearly visible and filling you with confidence and clarity. Other times it creates more subtle illumination, casting gentle shadows that add mystery and depth to the overall effect. What makes this artistic process truly remarkable is that you are not merely a passive canvas being painted upon. You are a collaborative participant in the creative process, able to respond to my artistic direction and even contribute to the composition through your choices, attitudes, and responses to the circumstances I allow or orchestrate. The ultimate goal of this artistic endeavor is not simply to create something beautiful for its own sake, but to create a living masterpiece that brings glory to my name and blessing to others who encounter it. Your life, as my completed artwork, will serve as a testimony to my creative power, a demonstration of my transforming love, and an inspiration to others who need hope for their own transformation. The Garden of Divine Cultivation. Your heart has become a sacred garden where I work as the master gardener, carefully cultivating the soil of your spirit, planting seeds of divine purpose, and tending the growth of spiritual fruit that will nourish both you and countless others throughout your lifetime. The soil preparation in this spiritual garden involved breaking up the hard ground of self-reliance, removing the stones of past hurts and offenses, and enriching the earth with the nutrients of my word and presence. This preparation phase often felt uncomfortable and disruptive as I used the plow of circumstances to turn over areas that had become compacted through neglect or protected through fear. The seeding phase involved planting promises, dreams, and calling deep within your spirit, Some of these seeds were planted so deep that you may not even be consciously aware of their presence, yet they lie dormant in the rich soil of your heart, waiting for the proper season and conditions to sprout and grow. The watering of this spiritual garden comes through my word, prayer, worship, and fellowship with other believers. Each time you spend in my presence, each moment you meditate on my promises, each occasion when you gather with others to seek my face, all serve to provide the moisture needed for healthy growth. The sunlight necessary for photosynthesis in this spiritual garden comes from my love shining upon your life. Even during cloudy seasons, when my presence seems distant or obscured, the light continues to reach the plants in your spiritual garden, enabling continued growth even when you cannot feel its warmth as directly. Weeding is an ongoing process in this divine garden, as I help you identify and remove thoughts, attitudes, and habits that compete with the good plants for nutrients and space. Some weeds are obvious and easy to remove: anger, bitterness, unforgiveness, that clearly don't belong in a healthy spiritual environment. Others are more subtle: pride disguised as confidence, fear masquerading as wisdom, control clothed as responsibility. The pruning process, while sometimes painful, is essential for maximizing the fruit-bearing potential of the plants in your spiritual garden. When I trim away certain activities, relationships, or opportunities, it may feel like loss or rejection. In reality, I am removing good things to make room for the best things, redirecting your spiritual energy toward the areas where I want to see the greatest growth and productivity. Pest control in this spiritual garden involves protecting the tender shoots of new growth from the attacks of the enemy who seeks to destroy what I am cultivating in your life. This protection comes through prayer, the application of my word, and the watchful care of spiritual mentors and friends who help guard your spiritual garden. The harvest from this divine garden will come in seasons, with different types of fruit ripening at different times. Some fruit will be for your own nourishment and strength. Other fruit will be shared with family and friends who need encouragement and support. Still other fruit will be given to strangers and future generations who will benefit from the spiritual legacy you are building through faithful cooperation with my gardening efforts. The laboratory of love. Your life has become a sophisticated laboratory where I conduct experiments in love, testing its limits, exploring its applications, and demonstrating its transforming power through the circumstances and relationships I place in your path. This laboratory serves not only to develop your capacity for love, but also to reveal new dimensions of my own love that the world desperately needs to see and experience. The hypothesis being tested in this laboratory of love is simple yet profound. Love is stronger than fear, more powerful than hatred, more enduring than circumstances, and more transforming than any other force in the universe. Every situation you encounter provides an opportunity to gather data that either supports or challenges this hypothesis. The experimental conditions in this laboratory are carefully controlled, though they may not always appear that way from your perspective. I introduce specific variables: difficult people, challenging circumstances, unexpected opportunities, not randomly but strategically, to test and develop different aspects of your love capacity. Some experiments focus on the durability of love under pressure. These might involve relationships that require sustained patience, forgiveness, and grace over extended periods. The data gathered from these experiments reveals how love can maintain its integrity even when it receives no reciprocation or apparent appreciation. Other experiments examine the adaptability of love in various environments. You might find yourself called to express love in settings where it seems unwelcome, inappropriate, or even dangerous. These experiments demonstrate love's ability to find creative expression regardless of external constraints or opposition. Still, other experiments investigate the multiplication factor of love, how authentic love given freely tends to reproduce itself in unexpected ways and places. The data from these experiments often surprises even the one conducting the loving actions, as they discover how small acts of genuine care can create ripple effects that extend far beyond their original scope. The instruments used in this laboratory of love include prayer, service, forgiveness, encouragement, sacrifice, and countless other expressions of divine love channeled through human hearts and hands. Each act of love provides measurable data about its impact on both the giver and receiver, contributing to the growing body of evidence about love's transforming power. The most remarkable aspect of this laboratory is that you serve simultaneously as both researcher and subject. As you conduct experiments in love toward others, you are also being transformed by the very love you are expressing. The act of loving changes you at least as much as it affects those who receive your love. The results of these love experiments are documented not only in earthly lives that are touched and changed, but also in heavenly records that will endure for eternity. Every act of love, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, contributes to the comprehensive research project that will ultimately demonstrate beyond any doubt that love is indeed the most powerful force in the universe.